Our goal is still to solve one variable equations using inverses, and now we're working on example number 2. So again, best practice, line down through our equal sign. We're identifying our steps. We're starting with x. Here, the next thing that happens is dividing by 5. Then we're subtracting 1. For our inverse steps, we want to end with x, we want to multiply by 5, and we want to add 1, and we need to remember to reverse our order. 3, 2, 1. So, we also need to remember whatever we do to one side of the equation, we also have to do the other side of the equation. So first thing that we do is add 1 to both sides. So what I have left on the left, -1 plus 1 goes to 0, so I'm left with x divided by 5. 24 plus 1 is 25, and we put our equal bar there. So we finished our adding 1. Next, we need to multiply by 5. We show that with parentheses, 5 and 5. Again, whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side of the equation. So these 5s are going to divide out. Again, if you need, you're using your calculator. 25 times 5 is 125. And all we have left on this side is x. Okay, so we multiplied both sides by 5, and we ended with our x. So I always want you to check. I've talked about this before. I like to know that I'm right. So we write the original equation with parentheses where we are going to put in our variable. And here we're checking x equals 125. So I put in 125. Again, I can plug this into my calculator. 125 divided by 5 is 25 minus 1. I get 24 equals 24. Okay, since this is a true equation, I checked this, I know I'm correct. So if you plug in your answer, substitute in your answer, and you get something that is untrue, that means you did the problem incorrectly and you need to go back and check your work. So right now, pause the video, try the U-Try, and start the video again when you've completed the U-Try. My answer for U-Try number 2, I got x equals 32. Okay, so if you got x equals 32, you can move on to the next example. If you'd like an explanation of this, for my steps here, I started with x, I divided by 4, I added 2. So my inverse steps were end with x, multiply by 4, subtract 2. So the first thing that I needed to do to both sides was subtract 2. I ended up with x divided by 4. Then I chose to multiply both sides by 4 because that was my next step. The 4's divided out. I was left with x. On the left, 8 times 4 is 32. Again, when I plugged or substituted 32 in for x in my original equation, I ended up with 10 equals 10. Since that's true, I know my answer is correct, and my correct answer is the x equals 32. So stop this recording now and move on to example 3.